Hello and welcome back to day 3 of your 7-day challenge. And we've done some cardio and we've done some strength. So now is a really enjoyable day. We get to take some active recovery. We're gonna do some stretching, we're gonna take some breath work, we're gonna recharge and rejuvenate. So tomorrow when we come back, we're ready to do some cardio again. Okay, so if you've got a mat, go ahead and grab a mat. You're welcome to do today's active recovery stretching with or without shoes on, whatever you're most comfortable with. We're just gonna take some time here to reset. Okay, bring your feet underneath your shoulders. Let's get started with some breath work. Just some nice deep breaths in. Exhale all the way out. And breathe all the way down into your belly. Exhale. Take a deep breath in, reach your fingertips all the way up. Exhale, bring them back down. Take a deep breath up. Exhale down. Take your balance on one leg. Remember when we did those knee circles? Let's take a few more of those. That's it. Finding your stomach nice and strong. Those abdominal muscles are holding your upper body steady. And your legs are just opening and moving through that range of motion with control. So you're not swinging, but you're moving through. One more on each side. Take your feet down, plant them down into the ground. Take a deep breath up. Exhale down, bend your knees. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, lower, sit down. One more time, deep breath up. Good job. Grab your arm, reach to the side. Coming all the way up. Take the other wrist. Exhale over to one side. And come all the way up. That's it. Release. This time, taking your leg, flexing your foot, and then starting that leg motion forward and back, just warming up through the hips. 3, 2, release. Take that foot down, shift your weight, lift the other foot, start that swing forward and back. Through that range of motion, shoulders still over your hips. Last 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Lower that foot. Take a deep breath in, reach up. One more time over to the side. Come on up. Over to the other side. Come on up. Take your hands down and take one leg forward. Sitting back into that hip, lifting your chest. Pause here, take a breath, and as you exhale, see if you have any more depth. One more inhale. Nice slow exhale. And then stand tall. Bring those feet together. Take your other foot out front. Sit your hips back. Deep breath in. Exhale. Let's take one more here. And if you can lower a little more, go ahead. Here's that final breath cycle. In, all the way out. Stand up nice and tall. Good job. So turning sideways, take one foot forward and take the other foot back way up on the tiptoes. Lift up on the toe, roll your knee under the hip, and then sit forward. So you're pressing your hips forward, opening up the hip flexors. Your hands can stay here at your hips, or maybe you can reach behind you, either pressing into your lower back or interlacing your fingers. Deep breath in. Exhale. Stand tall. Step your feet together. Take the other foot back. Lift up onto the toe, roll the knee right under the hip, and then sink down into that, opening through those hip flexors, pressing forward. This time again, your hands can stay right where they are at your hips, or maybe you want to reach them to the front and open up those shoulder blades as you extend your arms away from your body. One more breath. Good job. Stand all the way up. Step your feet together. Good job. Now come around. If you're not already on your mat, come down and come down onto all fours. So you're coming into tabletop. Hands come right underneath the shoulders. And think of your core nice and long. We're going to take some cat-cow. So on cat, you inhale and you round your back, making as big a C shape with your spine as you can. Relax your neck. Now as you inhale, lift your head and tilt your tailbone both up so that you're arching the other way. Getting some nice movement through your spine. Exhale, back to cat, round your spine. Oh, that feels good through the whole back. And now the other way. Nicely done. One more of each round. And release the other way. And now to a nice neutral flat spine. Tuck your toes and walk your hands as you lower your hips towards your heels. Now maybe that's lots on your feet and it feels really good to tuck your toes, but to keep your hands there for some support. Or maybe you can take your hands right up onto your thigh. Give that a try. Feeling that stretch right now, this is all about your feet. You're going to feel this even more in your feet if you take your shoes off. So you can choose, leave your shoes on, take them off. We're just going to draw the shoulders back. Our feet have been working hard with all that balance work to keep us stable. Deep breath in. Exhale, roll your shoulders back. One more circle this time, bring the shoulders the other way. Drop them down. Good job. Come down onto your mat. Set one hip down and bring your knees around to the front. Take your knees, drop them to the outside. Bring the soles of the shoe together. Deep breath in, lift up. And as you exhale, holding your knee, your shin, or your ankle, hinge forward from the hips. If you're particularly mobile, you can use your elbows to help ease those knees down a bit. With that long spine, take one more breath. Exhale, lower a little more. Sit up nice and tall. Now for one of my favorites. Take your front leg. Just bring it right in front of you. And this back leg, you're gonna take it around only as far as you can. So bring that foot around so you've got a bit of a lightning bolt shape in your legs. Now again, if you're really flexible, you might be able to take that leg a little further back. If that pinches, if that hurts, bring the legs a little closer together. Just decrease that angle. And then drop both hips so that they're down on the mat. Your hands can be here to support you. And you just continue to move back as much as you need so that you can feel that stretch all the way through that back leg. Your front leg's really just there for support. Lift your chest. Now again, you can take your stretches as deep as you need to feel them without hurting. So if it feels better for you to move back onto your elbows, you are certainly welcome to do that. If that feels too deep and it doesn't feel like it's stretching but rather hurting, then stay upright and just walk your hands back a little further. That'll gradually increase the depth. Think of sending that hip forward for one more big breath in. Good job, hold one more breath here. Nicely done, walk your hands back up. Take your knee, bring it around to the front, and then take your legs the other way so the knees tip down. And you take now the other leg back behind you. Take a minute to set yourself up however you need so that you've got the right angle to feel the stretch without any pain. And then start to lean back. Again, think of sending that hip forward. Adjust by either walking back a little, just being conscious that you're not sinking into those shoulders. You want to stay nice and lifted through your upper body. Supported as you ease into your stretches. Decide if the elbows feels good to you. If it does, you're welcome to head back. If that's pinching shoulders or causing any pain, then stay up instead. Active recovery days give us a good opportunity to think about honoring our body. It's working hard. We're setting some new patterns. Use that time to think kind thoughts, because you're doing fantastic as you work through this journey. Take a couple more breaths here, easing into that. Notice your deeper stretches are a lot like getting into a bath. You kind of ease in when the water's really warm. Relax into that. And then walk your hands forward. You can ease that leg around to the front, bringing both heels down. Just taking hands supported behind you. A little rotation, side to side. Doesn't need to be fast. Just a nice slow rotation. Getting some mobility back in our legs. Bring your feet up, take your feet down to the floor, sit up nice and tall, and then take the opposite shoulder around that knee. If that doesn't work to hook it over your knee, if that's not rotating for you, go ahead and grab the front of your knees and start with an over the knee stretch. The point here is just to increase some mobility and to work with your own range of motion. So whatever that means for you, however deep that stretch is, this is all about you. Rotate back to the front, uncross your arms and then sit nice and tall again. Reestablish that base and then decide, are you grabbing around the shins and twisting? Or are you hooking your elbow over the knee and twisting? Easing, not forcing into that stretch. Letting your breath help ease into a little more depth as you exhale. Turning back to center. Turning lengthwise on your mat. Rolling down onto your back. Feeling nice and supported here as you lay on the mat. Knees taking that nice windshield washer action that we had seated one more time. This time reclined. Come up to center. Bring your knees and hug your knees into your chest. Give your shins a little hug. Long spine along your mat. And then open your hands up straight out from your shoulders. And take your knees and just ease them to one side. If resting your knees on the floor is just not feeling good, it's too deep, just let your knees hang wherever they do. There's no pressure. There's no need to get to a certain place, but you do want both of your shoulder blades to be down on the mat so you get that nice rotation through your midsection. Easing into this passive stretch. And then take your gaze and look the opposite direction of your knees. Looking up to the ceiling. Bring your knees up to the center. Drop your knees the other direction. Just settle in, let your knees settle wherever they do. Shoulder blades melt to your mat. And then look the opposite direction of your knees. Bringing your knees up in the center. Reaching your legs out. Point your toes one direction. Point your fingertips the other. And then imagine you're being pulled in 2 different directions. Big pencil stretch. And release. And then one more time. Reaching yourself in 2 different directions. Find as much length as you can. Release. Great work. You can roll onto one side and then use one hand to ease yourself up to seated. Great news. You've now completed 3 days in a row. This is the end of our day 3. So tomorrow when you join us again, now that we're nice and long and lean again, we're gonna join us again tomorrow for some cardio to kick off day 4. I'll see you then.